most of us here that are team members of Finance Africa, we are also Wikimedians. We contribute on Wikimedia platforms. And the good thing about Wikimedia is, though most people are only though they know about Wikipedia, but then there are 13 different Wikimedia projects that you can work on. There's Wikidata, Wikisource, Wikicommons, Wikivoyage, Wikicodes, Wiki functions, there are a lot of wikis. So you just choose the one that you are interested in working with. And if you are interested in joining the Wikimedia movement, there's a Wikimedia User Group Nigeria, there's a Wikimedia User Group Nigeria Abuja chapter that you could also be a part of, and I'll be willing to connect you. They do meetups if you are based in Abuja. If you are based in Ilorin, I think there's an Ilorin chapter. If you are based in Lagos, there's a Lagos chapter. I think there's a chapter in almost every state in Nigeria. So if you are interested in joining the Wikimedia movement or the open movement and you want to start with the Wikimedia movement, it's something we'll be willing to introduce you to. Thank you.
While I was doing my IT in Edo State, I worked in a quarry. And what happens is before they blast the area, they will go and map it out and measure and do all of that. So there was this one time we went to map out the area that we were to blast, and we discovered a cave that had bags of cowries. It had carvings inside the cave. Like I could walk into the cave standing, like I didn't need to bend down. It had bags of cowries. Some of them were already torn open. It was even the cowries that attracted us there, because we're like in this random. I'm not talking of the place I'm describing. It's not a place that is easily accessible. It is a hill, like it's a rock. It's very far, and we entered the cave, and there were carvings on the wall, there were markings, there were paintings of different things, and it was easy to tell that people had stayed there before, and whoever stayed there wasn't like an ordinary person. And my greatest sorrow up till today was when I told my supervisor that, okay, this is what we found. He just said, okay, and they blasted the place. They blasted it to bits. Like there is no, aside from me and the two other people that saw it, there is nobody else that knows that something like that was there. So as a society, as a country, what are we doing to preserve this? Because if that place was somewhere else, maybe like America, automatically it's already a cultural site. It's a cultural heritage. People will be traveling, flying in just to see it. It's in Edo State. Yes, and talking to my friend, he made me realize that it wasn't the first time that they were seeing something like that, because he was doing IT. He started his IT there before me. He made me realize that it wasn't the first time that I'd seen something like that, and he kept on. But up to today, I'm asking this question, because what are we doing to preserve things like that? These companies, they come in and they do whatever they want to do. Nobody's observing, nobody's monitoring them. They just do whatever. So what are we doing as a country to prevent these things from happening?
Preservation Act, Cultural Heritage Preservation Act. So I think some while back I had the idea of advocating for it, but the way Female Africa works is I can't just make a decision. We are three core members, core leaders. So Isaac Bonaji and I. So we have to like focus on our priority. So I think what we have to do is we have to talk to our legislators, our lawmakers, and make it. I think I can't remember the particular country where this thing is a crime. You can't just damage any cultural heritage. You can't just do anything. You have to like create laws around that to make it a crime. And laws cannot just come up. There's a social responsibility of the public to engage the people who is put in office to make these laws. If you don't do that, nothing will happen. I don't believe they are not going to hear us. I don't believe that any leader does not listen to the followers. There are ways to make leaders listen to you, vote them out of office, threaten to vote them out of office. There are things you can do. You can call a representative back according to the Nigerian law. So there are things in place to ensure that they hear us. So So that's one thing I want to say.
So, as individuals, what should we do? What should be our mindset towards documenting all of this? So, personally, what I've been doing, say, 1, 2 years going now is whenever I go to work anywhere, also in those remote locations that I probably would never go there again, I'll take pictures, I'll do videos of such. So, but beyond that, what should be our mindset towards documenting all of these things?
And I mentioned that we should contribute to open source resources. But if you have pictures that you've taken of, like, if she took some pictures before the blasting took place, that's a means of cultural heritage preservation. Archaeologists, from that picture alone, archaeologists, curators, they can choose to do research and find out what these items are. They can call, like, I think Land Use Act. There's a section in the Land Use Act that enables the government to preserve a culture. So a government in the state can say, oh, for the sake of cultural heritage preservation, this land is no longer yours, and they can do something to preserve that. There will definitely be a way of compensating and all of that. So that is an idea I have. I just had it now. And something you can do as an individual is document it, make videos, take as many pictures, put it on open knowledge platforms. For pictures, the licenses Busola mentioned earlier, you can release it under Creative Commons licenses. You can use Wikimedia Commons as your tool. You can have your own website, upload the picture on the website and say, oh, I'm using Creative Commons license. So, like, the first image, like this image is on, they took this picture at the British Museum and they released it under Creative Commons license on worldhistory.com. So they have their own website and they did this and they released it under CC by NC by SC. So this is the license they receive, and this is even Nigerian cultural heritage. There is another people that this glass F from Ife, like it is belongs to us, it is ours, but they put it in their museum. People pay money to enter those museums to look at these things, and the British government is making money off it. But the reason is we don't preserve our cultural heritage. I say, oh, we are not doing that, we'll do it for you and we'll profit from it.
My name is Azubuike Jidaka. I'm a culture expert. I'm also the founder of Old Nigerian Football. I document Nigerian football history and culture. So I wasn't a mistake when I found myself here, and I actually saw your video where you were talking about this program. So I was kind of like motivated to come because this is what I'm also passionate about. I come from a media background. My father is a sports journalist. So I've always been around information. I've always been around media, television, television, radio, newspapers, everything. So I was always kind of like updated and all of that. But I discovered that during those times going on, there wasn't so much documentation of this information. Yeah. So sometimes I'll ask my father, okay, this event that happened so and so here, what was the outcome or who scored in this game or something like that? My father cannot give me a response. Being a sports journalist himself, I just discovered that in that era, or should I say in that period, there was never kind of like an intentional effort to document this history, this fact. So I took it upon myself because I was informed by a lot of British magazines, British blogs that covered most of their history. They are very deliberate with their write-ups. Anytime you go through a sports blog or something from the UK, they will first give you a kind of like historical anecdotes to it, then you have come down to the main story. I always start asking myself that how do I know more about British history than I know about Nigerian history? So I kind of like took it upon myself to start doing this project. I've been doing this for the last 8 years, and believe me, it's not easy. It's as difficult as it comes, but luckily people have been cooperating, people are seeing the importance of it and all of that. So when I came on and some of you guys were doing, we talked about copyright laws. I've broken copyright laws myself. When I started my page, I was very ignorant. I would just pick any video, post on my platform. Then I think in 2020 I lost my account. I had to start all over again. So it is very essential that we have this knowledge. There's a lack of awareness in our society, especially from our young ages, and it needs to be worked on. And I think more initiatives like this have to be carried out. Then with more initiatives like that, I believe the government over time will see the need to really like invest in our education. Because to be honest with you, the education right now in Nigeria is poor. It's different from when I was growing up. When I was growing up, current affairs was a big thing. Very big thing. You have to know what's going on in the country. You have to know the governors of the state. You have to know the president, the senate president. All these things were very important. At the point, even in the school I went to, you have to come out in the morning and deliver kind of like a summary of news reports, that kind of thing. That is not evident in our schooling system anymore. So there's a lot of things that need to be worked on, and I believe with initiatives like this, we can change the narrative. Thank you.
I don't know if you are familiar here with Yoruba Wikipedia, Igbo Wikipedia, and Hausa Wikipedia. So this Wikipedia exists in these local languages, and there are communities, there are individuals passionate about it, and we need to contribute. Like your sports section, we can find a way to create content on open source licenses for sports, and this whole society will benefit it. You can create articles. Let me just give you an idea I just had now. So we are documenting newspapers. We are digitizing some newspapers as an organization. We are asking people around that have newspapers that are in the public domain. So for instance, the sports sections in those newspapers, you can use it to tell the stories you are trying to tell. That is one of the reasons why we are creating publicdomain.ng, that maybe in 100 years time someone wants to write a novel with the 1960s, I think things in the 1960s, can just read multiple newspapers and get inspiration. In the 1960s we were not spending naira. In the 1950s we were spending pounds. Yeah, so imagine someone come and write a story 100 years from now. I took out my £2. So like I remember when my mom used to tell me, Shilling Commonara, my mom used to tell me stories of how she buy things when she was growing up. So imagine somebody comes and tell that story. It will be very, very remarkable. So what we are doing now is just we are preserving our future. It's documenting the past to preserve the future. So I strongly believe we should have a conversation after now, and we should evolve what you are doing, or whatsoever you've done. Like we have this Afro stuff that we want to reach out to, like WAWU, Nuga Games, NFF, the sports events they have in they have documented maybe those awards, the games, that any publication they have that might be in the public domain wants to document it. So we have that idea as well, and we want to work towards it. I don't know anybody in that field, and what I do is write letters and we to submit them. so if we realize that where personal relationship exists, democracy falls under. So if you know some people that know some people, we can get these things done. And I'm just saying that our organization, Free Knowledge Africa, Isaac and Bolaji are not here, but like those are the leaders that if we have opportunity to work with you, we definitely work with you. Thank you so much, sir.